from the start, from the start, from the start. Hey, hey, did you hear them sirens playing? Hear them sirens playing from the start, from the start, from the start. Hey, hey, hear them sirens playing from the start.
Good evening, race fans, and welcome along to TrackSpotTV. We've got the start of season number 2. It's the Tasman Racing League Road Series. After a successful launch of the ovals yesterday, we're back on the road course. Don't hold that against us or the drivers, though. It is almost as much fun as oval racing itself. Good evening, everyone. My name is John Wright. I'll be joined this evening by the man that survived season number 1. He will be the font of all knowledge for season number 2. We'll have Boone Blake joining us in the commentary box to take us through the entirety of the season. Once again, we kick off with the Daytona road course. Some beautiful weather out there. We're going to see some absolutely cracking driving here at the spiritual home of the Daytona Roar. Quite the event that is, and it's going to be quite the event this evening. We will have an absolute calendar of the gods as well. We'll get a look at that in a moment, but I do feel we should introduce our co-commentator extraordinaire. Good evening, Mr. Blake. How are you? Looking forward to this one, I assume.
Good evening, John. It is a pleasure to be back here for Season 2. After all the excitement of Season 1, it's been a long wait through the off-season, more than a month since the last time we had an official road course race. Of course, we saw Matt Weber wrap up the season championship. He'll be going for a second title in a row. But the Daytona road course, it's one of those tracks that drivers, you either love it or you hate it, but you have to respect it. There are a lot of really high-speed corners here, especially coming down on the brakes into Turn 1, and it's one where we're going to see, I think, a lot of drivers get caught out as they get up to temperature in the first few laps.
Indeed, it is going to be a spicy opening, that is for sure. As we've mentioned, it is Daytona. We've got Spa, Adelaide, Phillip Island on the calendar, Atlanta, as well as the Monza Oval for the mid-season classic. Stay tuned in for that. There's a very good reason, folks, that course was closed back in the day. You'll find out why here on the 19th of February. Virginia Le Mans, Red Bull Ring, Road America and Bathurst to end the season. An absolutely phenomenal calendar. And Boone, I would even say it's very much a driver's calendar there with some of the additions. Adelaide, Phillip Island, Atlanta, Road America, Red Bull Ring. It just really is, as I've said, a calendar of the gods that the drivers are being treated to this season.
Absolutely, and we've got a number of tracks this season that are different from what we did last season. There's been a lot more turnover here than there was on the oval side. We've got Le Mans, we've got VIR, which I believe VIR was on the schedule last year, but a lot of new names here. Adelaide, obviously, just added to iRacing very recently. It's going to be fascinating to see how these drivers deal with it for the first time. I'm probably looking forward to the Monza Oval, the mid-season classic, the most, just because of what a wreck fest it was last season. It was very entertaining from a commentator's perspective, but in my opinion, a great calendar put together here, both for the drivers and for us as commentators.
Indeed, yes, I did watch the broadcast last season of the Monza. There was quite a few incidents. I did see a safety car was called under safety car conditions, so yeah, the banking around that track is absolutely wild beyond belief. But that is the 19th of February until we have that little treat, but plenty of treats on display today with the Daytona road course that we see beneath us. This course, to say it's got a bit of history is somewhat of an understatement. Built way back when, I'm sure, is this not the one that was accidentally put together? Oh no, sorry, that was Laguna Seca, of course. The person that founded Laguna Seca ran out of fuel in the middle of the desert and decided to build a racetrack. Couldn't it be more American if you tried?
The story behind Daytona is pretty interesting, though. The Speedway originally back in the 1940s, they just raced on the sand of Daytona Beach, Florida. They'd run one half of the NASCAR track out on the only highway along the coast of Florida there, before the city of Daytona Beach was as developed as it is today. And then they run the other half of the circuit just on the sand. And then eventually they built the speedway a couple miles inland in the late 1960s, I believe. I think it was actually a little before that, now that I think about it. It may have been the late 1950s, but they built the speedway, added the infield road course, and the rest, as they say, is history.
Indeed it is.
I do want to point out before we can go through the grid, and then I want to go through the division between the Pro and the Pro-Am divisions that's new for this season in Season 2.
Yes, we'll have a quick look at that. We've got the grid up on, just adjusting some audio in the background. There we go. Hopefully that's coming through better. But yeah, as you can see, we've got the qualifying results on screen. It was Matt Webber that took the top spot. Dobbins in second, Fitzgerald third, Lewis Bahadur starting in fourth. Two of the Pro-Ams up in the top two rows. Heath and Robinson on row 3 with Newton and Corbett on row 4. De Bono and Scully on row number 5. Row 6, that was going to be Lucas Blake and Daniel Velicott. They're ahead of Dale Horn and Kyle Douglas, 13th and 14th respectively. Darren Justice in 15th with Hallinan in 16th position. Martin Walker and Ben Christian in 17th and 18th. Damien Coates on row 10 with Samuel Medder. Now we've also got Anthony Kapp in 21st, Jordan Nelson in 22nd position, Matthew Searle and Manuel Dodra in 24. Let's hear it for capitalisation of surnames. Jay Stern and Velestra in 25th and 26th, Goodfellow in 27th, Austin in 28th, and David Carney bringing up the rear of the field in 29th. Boone's going to give us a quick rundown of the splits as the drivers get started on their rolling start, Boone.
So a 29-car field tonight, viewers, but not all of those cars are going to be in the same race, in the same championship. Much like you'll see in a series like IMSA where you've got your GTD Pros and your GTD Pro-Ams, we've introduced a Pro and a Pro-Am system for the Season 2 of the Tasman Racing League here, based off of drivers' performance last season. So we're going to have 12 drivers who are classified in the Pro Series going for the Pro title, and we'll have 17 drivers in Pro-Am racing for the Pro-Am class win, possibly the overall win, and the Pro-Am championship at the end of the season. So just quickly before we get going, we'll run you down those 12 drivers who are classified as pros for this race. That would be Matt Webber, Louis Buhajar, Nicholas Heath, Rodney Newton, Shannon Corbett, Dylan DeBono, Stephen Scully, Lucas Blake rounding out the top 10, I believe, Martin Hallinan, Matthew Searle,
green flag, sorry,
Bradley
we're going to have to, we'll grab that in a moment or two, but they have already started, and Matt Webber, and there we go, we're getting a bit of stuttering as we head into the infield. Hopefully that sorts itself out. Yes, it does. Matt Webber getting an absolutely solid start. Dobbins has followed in single file, but we've got a 2-3 wide attempt on the way in. Whoa, to the horseshoes, the BMW almost taking the nose off my beloved Ferrari 296 there. No favouritism, I'm not biased, you all are. That's what the problem is. Ferraris are the best. De Bono though, he's got himself a Mustang, a Mercedes and a McLaren. All the M's up at the front of the field.
At the back looks like one of the Ascendant McLarens has gotten into it. It looks like, I think it's going to be Dale Horn and Darren Justice both dropping down the order a little bit.
Yes, indeed, yeah, Darren Justice dropping right down the order in the Acura, and he's going full send straight away. He's already got a position taken back there. He's chasing down that send it livery, and he's absolutely sent it, so looking to retake a position. A couple of changes up at the front. It looks like Newton has been overtaken, has overtaken Robinson. Oh, as we got cast sideways.
That's Bradley Austin, I think.
Oh, wow. Yes, I believe it is, along with Stephen Scully. Both of them absolutely tumbling. It's Velicott,
I think it could have been Velicott as well. The teammates, we saw a couple incidents between them over the course of Season 1, wasting no time getting into it on lap 1 of race 1 here. And that's going to send both of those TKR Dash Mustangs well down the order as we see a Porsche clip the wall there. I believe that would have been the number 10 car of Nicholas Heath.
Indeed, yeah, he thinks he's still on the oval from yesterday. But yeah, certainly it looks like the drivers, Velicott and Scully, they've gone full Haas. Never go full Haas. Matt Webber, though, he is not caring a jot. He has got the clearest rear view mirror of any driver in the race as he finishes lap number 1 where he started it in the lead. He's got Oscar Dobbins, a fair clip down the road. Lewis Behager moving up a position early doors. Himself and Heath making a couple of good moves, but it is Dylan De Bono who is flying through the field. He's already made up 4 positions, and if he gets a double overtake here, I will not be in the slightest bit surprised, because the 2 cars ahead are certainly making it a bit easier for him, although that looks like a Lambo that's involved there. Yes, it is, sorry, it's Jeremy Newton that's involved in that one. So Behager a bit further up the road is Nicholas Heath that is going full defensive from De Bono in the BMW, with Newton piling on the pressure. 3-way battle for 4th. Sorry, yes, Boone.
I'm sorry, you cut out for a second. Heath and De Bono, 2 drivers that we saw yesterday at the Daytona Oval race, both very near the front of the pack for quite a while, now battling towards the front of the pack in the road race as well. It's one thing I did want to point out. It's a bit of a shame for Dale Horn on the start. He had an excellent qualifying, started all the way up on row 6, but got into it on lap 1, and he's going to have to work his way back through the field now in that Sendit McLaren. Matt Weber now stretching his advantage out to 1.7, sometimes 1.8 seconds at the head of the field. And for those of you who were with us for Season 1, there are a few sights more familiar than Matt Weber extending his lead at the start of the race. We saw last season, and we're seeing again today, just how good he is on those cold tires. He gets the tires up to temp better than anyone else in the series.
Yeah, that is a skill set that is absolutely required. Let me just bring that up as well. But yeah, getting the tyres up to temp, especially... well, I was going to say especially in a nighttime race, but it is Daytona. It's probably still about 400 degrees warmer than it ever gets here in Scotland at the height of summer, that's for sure. That is another lap done and dusted. It's another one with Matt Weber just stretching his legs out of the front. He is on a Sunday driving that Mustang at the moment. Dobbins in second, Lewis Behager doing well in 3rd place. A little bit of a gap ahead, but better for him. It's more of a gap behind them, because this is an absolutely titanic 3-way struggle between these 3 drivers here. It is Heath, De Bono and Newton that are still battling away from this position. Newton finds himself just at the back. Camera controls non-responsive temporarily. So we'll see if we can get that back up and running again. Let's have a look. Robinson down 1 position in 7th. Corbett still where he started. Lucas Blake has made it up 2. Kyle Douglas is up 4. Martin Walker and Samuel Meader up 6 and 8 places respectively. Chris Fitzgerald was one of the drivers that tumbled down early on in his McLaren. He now finds himself in 14th place after starting in 3rd. And of course Scully, Velicott, and now Jordan Nelson running down near the back of the field. He's had a big incident himself. Up in the front though, it's still this 3-way battle here, and in fact we can probably get a look at the opening crash between the teammate. Oh, it says that Lewis Behager had a crash at the start as well. Any stage, let's see what happened with Shannon Corbett in the team. Oh no, this is just a rolling start, so let's get back to the live pictures. Yep, the replay's gone a bit too far back there.
Hold on, I think we had something about to happen there going into turn 1 with Heath and...
Oh, okay, let's get back to that then. Oh yes, we do, they're going side by side.
De Bono trying to go around the outside on Nicholas Heath. They've traded that position back in turn 1 a couple laps in a row now. It was De Bono trying to get back through on Heath, but Heath blocks it off, and De Bono's got to be careful of Jeremy Newton here, just looking to pick the bones of this if they come together.
It's going to be exactly his plan. Try and pick off anything that he can. Oh, rear view mirror not working. There's always some kind of technical issue. Oh, and there we go into the second horseshoe. Oh, it's a slightly better line by the BMW, it has to be said, and he's got himself a good run out against that Porsche, and again that is frozen. No, there we go, we are running again. So yeah, De Bono out onto the bank, and once again finding himself in the slipstream. Newton just patiently watching this, waiting to see if an opportunity presents itself. Robinson, the next car down. We do seem to be stuck a bit close, and there we go. Weird mapping from the lights as well. Weber, nothing weird going on with him up at the front. He has got himself an absolute move, and in fact Behager is up to 2nd place.
Roger, after I think surviving a little bit of contact initially on the opening lap, has gotten away very well. He's about 2.5 seconds back of Matt Weber. What we saw all through season 1 was Weber would get out to a 2 to 3 second advantage within the first couple laps, but then he wouldn't really have any more pace once everyone was up to temp on the tires. They'd start to reel him in a little bit, so I'll be curious to see if Lewis can start to pull that gap back down just a little. What we're seeing, though, is that turn 1 is going to be where most of these drivers favor the overtake. If there's going to be a lot of action tonight, I would bet that most of it's going to be coming into turn 1 on that heavy braking zone.
I think that is going to be the spot where they're going to look to get it done, especially as you say, coming off that bank, and it's a lot of slipstream that is afforded to them, that is for sure. Weber the man. Camera's really not liking that section of track. Weber the man, Buhagiar and Dobbins. It's then Heath, De Bono and Newton still all right on top of one another. Down the field as well, we've got Dan Justice looking to make his way back through the field. He's not long got past Scully. He's got Dodra not too far ahead of him, and Matthew Searle, of course, with Trident Racing. He's slightly in no man's land here. I can see the couple of cars ahead, but he does have a bit of a gap back, so he's going to be more concentrating on front, on what's going on ahead of him, rather than behind. Heath again with Dobbins. Heath, De Bono and Newton. They're still going in as we head into the bus stop chicane once again, and it is just absolutely textbook stuff. Synchronised stuff is the word I'm looking for there, and we've got a fair bit of time. Boone and I were talking just before the stream. We reckon, or he was saying, in season 1 the driver's looking to do at least, or pretty much bang on half distance in the race before they come into the pit, so De Bono could find himself. Yep, there he is. He's going to try it around the outside once again. As you come at the slipstream too early, the Porsche known to be slightly down on top end speed against most of these cars. The BMW's got his nose in front. He's around the outside. He's going to have to be very good on the brakes. Is he going to go for the cutback, or is the Porsche going to be able to cut it off? Oh, and the Porsche just too good through the twisty stuff, Boone. And it is just deja vu, or is it? No, it's not. He's absolutely set that one up from the way into turn number 1, and after 4 laps of patience, Dylan De Bono is going to temporarily have the position, because here comes the Porsche straight back at him. They're getting into the second horseshoe once again. Perfect positioning for Jeremy Newton to see how this one plays out and potentially pick up a position or two. They've got grass. Oh, and there's been an unfortunate contact between the two of them, and that's put the Porsche round, and Nicholas Heath. Oh, and that is not the best place to be coming back on, Boone, and that is unfortunate. Some full-blooded racing from the two of them, and just a very unfortunate contact
Samuel
at the end there.
I think, around as well there. A bit of a sympathy spin there for Nicholas Heath. But just brutal there for Heath, who was having such a fantastic race in the early going here. And I think that was such an obvious netcode that we could see it on our screen. I don't think those two cars touched at all, John.
No, I don't think they did either. They didn't look close enough. To be fair, now that I'm looking back at that, let's see, Damien Coates.
That's just a shame. It was such great racing between all three of those drivers for several laps. We were getting to see one of my favorite aspects of GT racing, which is how all the different cars play off against each other. You can see the BMW with the advantage on the straightaways, and then the Porsche with the advantage in the tight corners. There's just such a good battle to watch with two really high-quality drivers. I feel terrible for Nicholas Heath.
It's so unfortunate to be ejected by netcode, especially when you've got I mean, and he would have been loving that, Boone. You're a race driver yourself. You take part in the ovals. We know the thrill of the chase and being chased, and as much as I'd love to go and win every race, deep down inside, every race driver wants to spend lap after lap side by side by someone else, checking out their skills, trying to find openings. Oh, we've got a Weber Mercedes.
So we do.
That's Oscar Dobbins.
Looks like it is Oscar Dobbins, the leader in the Pro-Am class, second overall. What happened to him? Oh,
the back end of the car just said no, Boone. Just absolutely not having it. Nowhere near anyone. And yeah, here goes. And that's his podium position being overtaken, by De Bono. So there he goes.
He's not lost much time, and I think he might still be in the lead for the Pro-Am category, but that's got to be frustrating for Oscar. He lost out on that second place to Louis Buhagiar a couple laps earlier, now down in 5th. But he's still got, looks like, about a 3.5 second cushion back to Patrick Robinson for the GT Am lead.
Yep, so he's got a fair bit of a gap there. As you say, he will be frustrated just losing the back of the car after being in contention for an overall podium as well as the win in his category. Jeremy Newton, he's been absolutely gifted positions left, right and centre here. If he somehow jumps the Bono in the pits and goes on to take a podium, no surprise will register here in the commentary box, although we're going to have to look back at these two because they are absolutely nose to tail. And here comes Newton potentially looking for a move. We've seen BMW versus Porsche, the Lambo far better equipped to fight the Porsche and fight the BMW in a straight line. White managed to get close enough there, and I'll tell you what, Dobbins could find the site of his demise, also the site of his redemption, as he really is more than keeping up with these pro drivers ahead. I can see a couple of drivers potentially being promoted, given the pace that Dobbins is showing at the moment. Certainly, well, if Dobbins is a pro-am, it really is a good idea for me to stick to commentary, because that is some pace that he is showing
one
out
of those
there.
drivers who, I think when we were making these decisions as stewards, he's right on the line, and there's certainly drivers who are going to be promoted mid-season, and I think that Oscar's absolutely going to be one of those, at least if it was entirely up to me. You can see from the pace that he's demonstrating right now. The Mercedes it's quick here, but it's not overly quick. It's not the meta by any means. It's always impressive to me when we see a driver in like the Lamborghini or the Mercedes or these cars that aren't necessarily the meta at this particular track running up front like they are right now.
Yeah, no, he's doing an absolutely bang-up job there. Good to see what he does for the rest of the season. We're back on board with Darren Justice. Of course, lost a handful of positions. Lost a couple of handful of positions, actually, at the start of the race. Samuel Meder just ahead of him. He was getting close. He keeps getting close towards the end of the lap, but by the time they get back out onto the outer banking at the end of Sector 1, it is the mighty 296. I'm not biased again, it's you all that are. But yeah, the mighty 296 getting a good runaway. Matthew Serra will be watching this one in his rear view mirror again. He's having a solid start to the race. He's made up 6 places at the moment. Not putting any pressure on anyone ahead, but certainly not feeling any pressure from the cars behind, although those two are upstreaming nicely. And we can see them catch up, although the Acura pops out with the slipstream. He's not going to go for this here, is he? Yes, he is. He is carrying some pace. They're going to go side by side onto the second section of banking across the start-finish line. We go. Here comes the heavy braking zone, and Matthew and Cyril ahead is being caught now. Oh,
That's
and I tell you what, they've really closed the distance there, Boone. Oh, and he's gone.
He's gone around there. That's Darren Justice in the Corvette, just a little too hard on the brakes there, and that's... I think he just tried that move from too far back, John. I think you've got to have a little bit of overlap if you're going to try to be that late on the brakes going around the outside of Turn 1. It's deceptively sharp. It's one of those turns kind of like Turn 1 at Circuit of the Americas where you can't necessarily see the apex that well. It's hard to see what you're doing, especially when there's a car on the inside, and that time the corner design just gets the better of them.
Yeah, it did, yeah. Back into the car, yeah, once again. Just saying no. We're on board, or we're on board with the race leader. There is Robinson, there is Webber there. We better give him some camera time because he has been absolutely flawless in these opening stages. Taking pole position, and he has taken the lead of the race with aplomb and vigour. He's got a 3-second gap back to Lewis Bahajar, who's had a great start himself. He started in 4th position. He's up to 2nd place in that mighty little Porsche. Lightning, he really is embodying Lightning McQueen in that thing at the moment. He's got a good gap back to De Bono, who has got Dobbins behind him. Jeremy Newton behind him, so Dobbins has got past Newton. Oh, Lucas Blake has had an incident as well, but there has been an overtake there. Let me see. Dobbins past Newton for 4th. Let's have a look.
Oh, just run wide there in the chicane.
Yeah, so there we go, folks. That is how easy it is to make a mistake. The drivers that are running calmly up at the top, just the merest of moments there, and it is an exit from the bus stop chicane, and that puts Oscar Dobbins back up to overall 4th, and more importantly for him, of course, puts another pro driver between him and the Pro-Am, Dylan De Bono, after several laps of battling. We're on to lap number 9, and this is the first lap he's going to have clear with no cars around them. So the pro podium drivers getting the job done. Certainly nowhere near.
No, I think that's Louis Buhajar sliding sideways from second place.
Yeah, right. Let's grab a replay of that. That was a strange one again. The backs of the cars.
De Bono and Dobbins coming up quickly. I'm not sure if Buhajar is going to be able to hold them off through this corner here. It's going to be close. They might take this 3 wide. Oh, this could be risky, John. It's De Bono tucking him right underneath Buhajar's bumper, trying to push him back up to racing speed as Dobbins goes around the outside. They're going to come across the start-finish line and into turn 1, 2 wide, possibly 3 wide. I think Buhajar is going to hold on to P2 here as De Bono gets a little bit out wide, just getting the elbows out there, defending that podium from Oscar Dobbins. But that was near disaster for Buhajar. If he could get his foot back down, he can hold on to second, but that is a gift for Matt Weber. He will have loved to see that.
Yeah, an absolute gift indeed. Let's see if we can see. The car that was a couple behind him. Oh no, there we go. He's mounted too much of that curb. It's caught the inside of the wheels there, Boone, and that has sent the car 180 degrees towards the inner track. And yeah, you have to. It's like a lot of racetracks. You have to interact with the curves, but you get it a millimetre wrong, and those curves will interact with you in ways that you do not want. As we see the Lambo go round again.
Yeah, that's Jeremy Newton now, once again in the infield, losing a number of places this time.
Yep, heading out onto the outer bank. Wow!
That is a spot where you very, very rarely see a car go around. I've done that a few times in the 296, practicing for this race in Season 1, but I've never seen anyone other than me do it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've lost cars on every position on every track, but that is a strange one. You're flat out accelerating there. It's just before you bounce up onto the outer banking, and that's where the Lambo loses it. And Jeremy Newton's race is going from bad to worse, now finding himself down in 11th position after challenging for podiums. We've got a yellow flag for Fitzgerald as well. I think he's just had a bounce on the wall. So he is still struggling, and he's coming into the pits 11 laps in. So before the halfway mark, do we think this might be damage inspired? I mean, with Newton, I would guesstimate he wants a fresh set of tyres because his rear tyres have no grip at all. Oh, as the Mercedes almost gripped the back of the BMW there, Oscar Dobbins.
And De Bono has found himself in it throughout this one. It's been non-stop battling for him, doing an excellent job of holding on to that 3rd place, but Oscar Dobbins, a little exploratory movement of the nose there just to let Dylan know that he's thinking about it.
Keeping him on his toes, signal his intent. If you leave the door open, I will stride through with pride, my friend, and that is what he's looking to do. But it's Louis Buhajar that's going to be feeling the pressure here. An unforced error in the outfield section, and that's found him. I mean, he did. Actually, was it? Yeah, I mean, I think De Bono showed a good race IQ there. I think he realised that if he didn't get behind the Porsche and help him get back to racing speed, it was going to be 3 wide into turn 1. And turn 1 here is not someplace where anybody benefits from going 3 wide, and it's into the wall. Nobody benefits from that. Dobbins spins. That is painful. Oh, so unfortunate. Oh,
he's going to get it going again, but he comes out, looks like right in front of Kyle Douglas's Porsche.
Let's get a look at this one again, shall we? So yeah, he's just hanging on to the back of this. Oh, quick flash of the light. Oh, and it's the curb on the way in. So we've seen mistake on the curb on the way in, a mistake on the middle curb, and a mistake on the exit curb. So the drivers... Oh, and that is a rejoin that will see the stewards sharpen their pencil and potentially be handing out a penalty. We don't call penalties here in the commentary box, but at first sight, That one might get a bit of a slap on the wrist for the rejoin there. Not the safest for Dobbins, and it's put him in an interesting position now because it is Kyle Douglas that he is battling with as De Bono comes into the pits.
De Bono, Martin Walker, and Lucas Blake all into the pits here. And I think this has got to be strategy based. I believe these drivers think they can make it to the end on whatever kind of fuel they've got now if they take tires and fuel. This should be the last stop for them. I can't imagine why you would want to two-stop this race.
No, a two-stop would seem like a bit of an elongated way to go. You're not going to recover in the number of laps that we've got with a two-stop strategy. We'll see when Webber decides to come in. Webber has the absolute run of the field at the moment. Buhagiar finds himself now with a big gap back to third place after the pit stop, so we'll see if either of them reply. Currently in third is Shannon Corbett with Patrick Robinson in fourth place. Dobbins is still holding fifth position, but he's also firmly holding the attention of Kyle Douglas and Nicholas Heath. So we've got, what's that, a group of 4 Porsches chasing down Dobbins in the Mercedes. So much for the Porsches, Mr. Lead Commentator Raven. So much for the Porsches not being too quick in a straight line. They're certainly getting it done through the twisty stuff, that is for sure. Buhagiar's come into the pit, so he's instantly answering the race leader. Corbett has followed him in as well. Sorry, the race leader has stayed out, my apologies. It's the drivers around him, of course. De Bono, who's come back out in 15th position. Oh, and that's all kinds of airborne, that's all kinds of sideways, and that is worst case scenario, Boone. He has just come out of the pits and he's absolutely cooked his tyres, and he's jumped back to the pits as well.
Sent himself straight back to the pits. That is a promising run coming undone before our eyes for Dylan De Bono. He ran right at the front of the field for so long here today, but it just takes one mistake on any of these curbs. That's what we've seen. Matt Webber is cruising at the front of this field. He is enjoying a 21-second cushion back to Patrick Robinson in second with the pit stops, and he's, I believe, essentially bought himself the right to run whatever kind of strategy he feels like now.
Yeah, he absolutely is in the driving seat here, figuratively and metaphorically as well. He is absolutely piling the pressure on the rest of the field. Robinson and Heath currently running second and third. Buhagiar, who was in second place when he came into the pits, he's come back out in 9th position. So that gives us a relative idea of how long the pit stops are taking. He's got Austin and Scully, who are quite close ahead of him. He'll not want to get tangled up in that battle too much. He won't want to get tangled up in any battling, as Matt Webber does come into the pits, and that is just at the end of his 14th lap, or just at the start of the 14th lap. Sorry, we've got another car in the pits here as well, quickly raised up. Look, he's already got the steering wheel moving just to make sure he can get out as quickly as possible. So that puts Patrick Robinson into the lead of the race. Nicholas Heath will stay out as well, so he's going to take second. Kyle Douglas has come into the pits. Let's see, Capin still has a bit of time to go to get to the pits. Lewis Buhagiar is out on the outer banking as Matt Webber is on the pit exit. Wow, he has flown through every phase of this race, through qualifying, through the race start, and unless I'm mistaken, he has extended that gap under pit stop. Yeah, he has.
I believe he's actually lost approximately a second here, has Matt Webber, to Lewis Buhagiar in the pits. Buhagiar was about 14 seconds back before he took his pit stop.
Right, okay. And what is he? Okay, so on my screen, 12 seconds.
I don't think Matt's going to be sweating that too much, though.
No.
To be honest, John.
Yeah, no.
14, I don't think it matters much to him.
No, he's got one hand on the wheel and one hand on the cup of coffee and another hand on the checkered flag as well, no doubt. We've got Bradley Austin and Stephen Scully making their way in and out with the pits. Dodra and Justice just heading in. Coates down at the back of the field. De Bono is out of the race completely. It really is a difficult start. Oh, and we've lost cameras, so let's get that one there. There we go. Yeah, Robinson and Heath. Oh, yeah, sorry, Heath has come into the pits. I jumped on to Capin there. But yeah, Robinson and Heath come into the pits. We'll see what Capin does if he comes in, which I think he will. Given we've seen the race leader come in, yep, he's pulling into the pits as well. Looks like Viestra will come in, and there is Matt Webber. He taking his
drivers
position.
Left, if any, who haven't pitted at this point. I think the entire top 10 has been in and out of the pits.
I think they have. Where is Oscar Dobbins?
Oscar is in P10 at the moment.
Yeah, P10, so good recovery drive for him, but it is Patrick Robinson. Oh no, sorry, Robinson's still to come into the pits, does he?
Robinson on exit now.
Oh yeah.
It looks like we're going to see where he comes out relative to Fitzgerald, Douglas, Dobbins, and Walker. Fitzgerald probably projects as the leader of the GT AM class here, depending on where he comes out with Patrick Robinson. Robinson's clinging to that third place. Shannon Corbett on his bumper, 0.5 seconds behind him. We've seen Corbett, a really underrated drive from him. He's sitting in 4th place right now. We haven't had the camera on him much at all, but he's been quiet and he's been effective.
That's exactly how we get the job done. Get your head down under the radar, and yeah, up 4 places so far, and he is having a very, very, very good race. Although I'm scared to say that, in case we give him the old curse of the commentator. We've seen some big mistakes. Oh, and we've got a black flag as well. Dale Horn picking up a drive-through penalty for violating the pit speed limit, I believe. So that's a drive-through for Horn. He's already down 5 places behind Scully, who's on a bit of a recovery drive at the moment. He's back up to 17th, which is certainly an improvement. And yeah, missing the apex. So making his life difficult for himself. Who else was it I was looking at? Oh yeah, so Pro-Am leader at the moment on track is Robinson.
I would like to point out, for what it is worth, Bujar has taken another 1.2 seconds out of Matt Webber since we last touched on him. He's still a ways back, 11.3 seconds with 13 laps to go, and it's going to be very, very challenging for him to catch up, but he's very slowly eating into that gap, it seems like.
Oh yeah, he is, yeah, now just under the 12-second mark. So I've got telemetry spread all over many, many screens. Let's keep an eye on Shannon Corbett. He is looking good to put the pressure on Robinson. And this is one of those Robinson he would love to bring home, I'm sure, an overall podium. But if that overall podium is going to compromise your class win, yeah, you've got to know when to hold them and you've got to know when to fold them. So we'll see if Robinson, how long he spends engaged with Corbett in this battle. Nicholas Heath just behind the two of them at the moment as well. So they will be conscious of that. We've also got Lucas Blake, who's making an absolute move. He's had a tough start to the race. He's had a couple of incidents so far, but since this pit stop he seems to be running pretty smoothly, and he is certainly giving chase to Capin ahead, and there he goes for the move up the inside as we exit out onto the banker, and that is a perfect timing to get the Corvette ahead of the Porsche. And very smooth transition onto the banking as well, and it's a nice little move by Lucas there, Boone.
Not a place where we've seen a ton of drivers try to make an overtake today, but it's Lucas showing us there that if you just get on the brakes early and if you execute it on the inside, it can be a very, very effective place to get the move done. The only thing is you have to make sure you have the exit speed, because you're going into such a long run on the oval part of the track that if you don't have an advantage in exit speed, nothing you do in the corner is going to matter towards making an overtake. That was textbook from Lucas Blake there to get the exit speed and drive away from him.
Indeed it was, yep. Corner exit speed is king. Whether
you see Anthony Capin with a meatball flag and dropping a couple of places there, it looks like. And he's now down a bunch of places into the pits. It looks like he's just reset there. If we could get a replay on that.
Yep, he's got two. Oh, wow.
just following close in the dirty air, gets onto the curb. Not the first time we've seen it in this race, and John, I don't think it's going to be the last.
No, I completely agree. I think, oh no, he's had another incident here as well.
Look at the back left wheel of that Porsche. That is not doing anything. He's just going to park this and bring it back to the pits, looks like.
Yeah.
Good call.
Yeah, exactly. A good call there. As you say, the iRacing damage model, it's not great when you're on the receiving end, but it certainly does give a more realistic feel. And that back left wheel, as you say, completely stationary, off the ground. His suspension absolutely shot to pieces and back again. I'm just looking down the field. We've got a couple of interesting battles that are forming. If I can get my glasses on and actually find the drivers on the list, it is Matthew Serrell that I'm looking for, of course, Vliestra, who is just ahead of him. Serrell having a solid race, but so too is Vliestra as well. These two have made a combined 22 overtakes as Dobbins has himself a yellow flag. He has just clattered that thing into the wall, and he's trying to get himself back up to speed. Not any visible damage at the moment.
I think Dobbins may have gotten very lucky there.
Yeah, I think he got very close indeed.
He's still sitting fairly close to Chris Fitzgerald. He hasn't lost much time on that front. He's about 2 seconds back, which is the same place as he was around 2 laps ago. So that possibility of a Pro-Am class win for Oscar Dobbins starting to fade a little bit with Patrick Robinson about 7 or 8 seconds up the road now, but he's still very much on for a class podium.
Definitely is. We're back on board with Matthew Serrell. A bit of an up and down race for Matthew so far, but it is mostly up. As I say, 9 positions he has made up in the mighty Aston Martin, and he's got a Porsche ahead of him, so you'd think in a straight line that Aston's going to get it done, but the Porsche at the moment of Vliestra is, hopefully I'm pronouncing that surname someplace close to correct, probably butchering it though with my overrolling of the R's in my Scottish accent, when that is very close to the horseshoe. The Aston Martin just picks up so much more momentum under acceleration, and then that slipstream helps, jams on the brakes, but the Porsche just turns its way through. Flashing lights. He's run a bit wide there, but he's going to hold on to the...
Oh no! As he goes around, and we've got one of the Cindy McLarens having a sympathy spin. They make contact, damage to the back of Searle's Aston Martin. That was a bit of a weird one.
It really was, yeah. And the McLaren behind Dale Horn on 2 of them. Wow.
That wasn't quite the same as what we saw Jeremy Newton do at the same corner. I think we saw Matthew get caught out by the seam there, where you transition from the infield part of the track up onto the banking, and that can be tricky. That's usually, when you see cars wreck in that corner, that's where you see them wreck. And was that Dale Horn behind him there, John?
It was Dale Horn behind him, yes.
Just not really a whole lot of places for him to go there. He's got an Aston Martin spinning around right in front of him very suddenly.
He does, yeah, and we can see the steering input there absolutely all over the place for Serrell.
He's trying to drag it back to the pits. I hope there's not anyone else out on track behind him right now.
Oh, the absolute agony for him. The car crabbing horrendously.
And you are a long way from the pits too.
Yep, a very long way, and he's just crashed again. Manuel Dodra, I believe, is just an incident again through the bus stop chicane. Is it curb 1, 2 or 3? Our survey says, okay, we've not seen anyone on that curb. That is different, yes. We've got a bit of variety from the drivers. Oh, look at the front of that car now hanging off. Not aerodynamically sound, folks, I can confirm. That is absolutely...
There goes that front bumper entirely.
Oh yeah, it's just
Dodra bringing it
off
into the pit, which is wise. And it seems like Matthew Serrell's given up the ghost on trying to drive that Aston Martin back around. He's just had it towed back into the pits as well. Very smart maneuver, because I think the pack was going to catch up to him before he got that back to the pits, and that was not going to be good.
Yeah, no, exactly. That is not what you need, especially on that part of the track, that outward banking. The cars are moving, obviously, at their fastest for the whole course, and taking avoiding action is not easy on that banking. It's slightly easier in a GT3 car than it is in an Oval car, but it's not something that you want to be doing in any car, really. Let's see if these four, the three on track, on only the McLaren there, he's just lifted the inside wheels, and that's giving the rusty Porsche the run around the outside potentially. Some lights flashing to try and distract one another. The Porsche has got the outside line. That shows you just how much momentum you can lose by incorrectly mounting those curves through the bus stop chicane, and that is a very good run. Austin and Christian, as Bradley v Ben for 15th. It's Pro versus Pro-Am, and they've got Samuel Meader just ahead of him. It's almost like he backed out of turn one there in the McLaren. The Porsche throws it against that apex. But he did seem to back out there, didn't he, Boone?
A little too easy there for Bradley Austin. As Austin now on the attack against Samuel Meader in that Ferrari, and I think he's going to get by him as well there. So that's going to be 2 positions and 2 corners for Bradley Austin, and he's up into 14th. He can now get after, looks like Steven Scully in 13th, about 2 seconds up the road from him.
Yeah, he's going to have to go some to catch up with Scully. Scully himself on a comeback drive after that early incident, of course. He is down at net 3 positions at the moment, as we can see. Only 3 drivers, as we can see as well, that are running in their original start position. Lucas Blake in 11th, Nicholas Heath in 5th, and Matt Webber in 1st place still, and the gap now sitting at 14 seconds. Let's have a look at the best time the drivers have put in, and it's unsurprising that it's Webber and Buhagiar that are by far the quickest 2 drivers, the only 2 drivers to get into the 1 minute 44s, and in fact Buhagiar only a 10th and a half off the fastest lap of Webber. So yeah, those 2 very well matched for pace. Robinson with a 45.3, Corbett and Heath both capable of 45.1s, Fitzgerald and Dobbins on 45.0s, and yeah, Patrick Robinson the fastest Pro-Am by quite some margin as well. He's got himself
I think a lot of it,
yeah.
You've got the Porsches, and they've just been so dominant. They don't have the straight line speed, but the Porsche is just clearly the meta car here. I read a stat in one of the discussion channels before this race that the Porsche has something like the top 30 times going into the 24 hours on Garage 61 right now. The top 30 times are all Porsche 911s, and that, I believe that from what we're seeing here. I mean, you look at Louis Buhagiar, and you look at the Pro-Am class, you have Kyle Douglas, you have Patrick Robinson, just so many Porsches towards the front here. And it makes it even more impressive what drivers like Matt Webber are doing in equipment that is not the meta this time.
Indeed, yeah, the talent really does shine through, and he's just put in another incredible lap there to maintain this gap at over 13 seconds, very close to 14. And wow, is that really 23 laps gone already?
It feels like it's gone by fast, and I feel like we get that a lot with the road races because there's no cautions.
It's absolutely flown through. Yeah, we need to quickly grab Lucas. I know he's busy driving, but can we chuck it, if we can tack an extra 5 or 10 laps onto this race, that would be perfect, and we'll see what other overtakes we can see coming. We've got some coming here. In fact, speaking of Lucas, he might be too busy to make any adjustments to the server. He's got Vliestra closing him down absolutely massively. Of course, he's been in to get some damage repaired. He is looking a bit slower on that bank in the Porsche, doing an absolute wonder there again, sending himself to the outside line as across the start finish line as Blake got the position from Vliestra at the moment, but the Pro-Am driver looks like he is sizing up an overtake, doesn't quite get it done. Very nicely done by Blake to hold on to that. Meader and Christian behind him as well. They were close coming off the banking into turn number 1, but they have spread themselves out a bit. Christian remains within 0.8 of a second. Vliestra though stays within half a second. These two the closest on track at the moment. Matthew Serrell, Darren Justice, Dylan De Bono, Daniel Velicott, Martin Hallinan and David Carney all out of the race. De Bono, such a pity for him. And yeah, there really has. We've seen some interesting, to say the least, interesting incidents tonight, Boone. Some spots you wouldn't expect the cars to particularly make mistakes, or necessarily make mistakes, but certainly the bus stop chicane all phases of the bus stop chicane have been tricky for at least one or two of the drivers tonight, and it's costing them positions, and a few of them strong runners for podiums out of the race early.
Well, it's something that you don't see every race, but almost every spin that we've seen today has been self-inflicted in some way or another. We've really only had a couple incidents of car-to-car contact, and they've usually been either minor, or we had the one on lap 1 that was just a very unfortunate netcode.
Yeah, the netcode one was the absolute killer. That, for me, is the... it's that massively the most unfortunate incident we've had, considering the battle that it robbed us of. Up at the front of the field. That really was a very strange one and very unfortunate, and it ended up with a lot of victims.
We've seen Zach Vlietstra now struggling for a couple laps to get past Lucas Blake. I thought it was going to be a foregone conclusion when he had that huge run, I think 2 laps ago now, coming into turn 1, and he pulled a little bit of a dummy move, and it looked like Blake was going to miss the apex, but Lucas has done a great job of just making that Corvette as wide as possible every time they go through turn 1, which seems like the only place where Zach's really comfortable making an overtake. And I'm not sure Zach really knows what to do right now, but the pressure's starting to take down. We've got about 6 laps to go. We're very quickly getting towards the end game here. If Zach wants to make a move for this 11th place, which I think they're both out of reach of 10th, but if Zach wants to make a move for 11th, he's going to have to figure out how to get past Lucas, I think somewhere other than turn 1, because he's got that locked down.
Yeah, he has got that absolutely on point, as you say, and that seems to be the only place the Porsche is able to get a move. But he's got it done again, Blake. He's come through the horseshoe section, he's got out onto the banking, and he has maintained a gap big enough to mean that the Porsche, by the time we get to the bus stop chicane, is still going to be in tow. Bradley Austin might have different ideas against Stephen Scully, though. These two are getting themselves close. This is a battle in the pro class, so the battle ahead is Pro v Pro Am, and I tell you what, it's a slow run through from the Mustang. The rusty Porsche once again getting it done through the bus stop chicane, finding himself on the outside line, on the outer banking, and carrying, and on the charge, and he is going to get his nose in front. Izzy is Austin v Scully, and yeah, the Mustang is lifted out with that one there, realised it was going to be a 2-way situation. Oh no, now for me he's backed out with that one a bit early, to be honest, unless the Porsche really does have that much more pace. I don't think it does. I do think that Scully...
It looks a little like he's backed out, but that's the second time that we've seen Brad Austin pass someone in that exact way, and it's looked like the guy he's passing on the inside sort of just backed out. What I think is happening is Brad is just getting such a good run off of the chicane that he's able to get these moves done before they even get down into turn 1. It's a combination of the Porsche being, I think, the best car for the track right now, and of Brad just having that corner exit on that chicane down to a science.
Yeah, he absolutely does. That is a dark art indeed. Speaking of dark arts, there is the black Lamborghini of Jeremy Newton. Of course, the driver we referred to earlier with the netcode incident. What a just incredible battle. I do encourage everyone to watch the VODs anyway, but make sure you go back and watch the opening few laps of the race, because the battle between Newton, De Bono and Dobbins was the absolute stuff of Daytona legend. Newton looking to entertain us with some more overtaking. Sorry, on you go, Boone.
I believe you mean Heath instead of Dobbins, but I know the battle you're referring to.
Oh, yes, Heath, sorry. Yes, indeed, it was Heath. Oscar Dobbins ended up dropping down and then jumping back into that battle as well. As the Lambo goes for the outside. Is Vliestra going to get the move done behind? He's got close. Is this his chance? Where is Vliestra gone? That's Newton that we're on board, but there he is there.
Oh, and he's got a push from Brad Austin. The two Porsches working together on the outside. I think this might be it for Lucas Blake. He has put up a good defense, but I do not think he's even going to have a chance this time. Both of those Porsches are going to fly past. Lucas is going to get a little bit loose, get down onto the inside, and he's going to have to fight to hold on to 13th now. He's going to come under pressure from Stephen Scully in that Mustang, and that it's all sort of come undone for Lucas there when those two Porsches teamed up on the outside.
Yeah, as soon as they started slipstreaming together, it's exactly the same as the Daytona ovals in the NASCAR. If you've got more cars on the outside line, they will go faster. and that's exactly what they did. Lucas wisely just dipping out ever so slightly, went for a tighter line into turn number 1, had himself a bit of a wiggle, and it has indeed brought Scully back up. So this is Lucas now fighting, what is that, 4th, 5th, 6th? To hold on to 7th in the pro class, with Scully currently running in 8th. He is looking to take that from him though. Shannon Corbett and Jeremy Newton are 2 drivers that we need to keep an eye on, of course. Newton still looking for that overtake on Walker. Shannon Corbett looking to get closer to the rest of the pros. He's got Kyle Douglas, who's currently running in 5th, and big shout out to Robinson and Douglas, 1st and 2nd in the Pro-Ams and running in the top 5 overall. In fact, that goes to show you how close the splits are, folks, especially around this course, and how much talent it takes to get around the course with the drivers that are out. The top 3 in Pro-Ams are currently running in the top 7, so that is not bad at all. A 4-3 split for pros and Pro-Ams in the top 7, so very close racing throughout the field, and some very close groupings as well. Newton still trying to put the pressure on Walker, Christian and Meader. That might be one coming into turn number 1 worth watching. Let's have a look and see as Christian gets to within a 10th and a half. It's too late though. Too little, too late. They both fly in at turn number 1. Much tighter line by Meader. It's not cost them too much time there. It has dropped that gap by about half a 10th or so there, maybe a 10th through the horseshoes.
Like we've seen, Jeremy Newton has gotten past Martin Walker at some point just recently for 9th place now, and that's going to put Martin, I think, still comfortably in the top 10, but
yeah, moving the international horseshoe. He's almost bumped drafted him there, and he just takes that inside line. So much more grip, it seems, from the Lamborghini, and yeah, there we go. Signed, sealed and delivered with not much time left on the clock. That is Newton making back another place, so he's down in net 2 positions overall, and yeah, he was threatening to gain a podium right at the start of the race. But as far as comeback drives go, and yes, one of the drivers that was making good progress as well, Oscar Dobbins, led the Pro-Ams for a considerable amount of time. He's just picked himself up a cheeky little yellow flag. Shannon Corbett has had a crash. He is gone. No, he's still back up on track, sorry. Yes, so Corbett's just had an incident as well.
He's starting to run out of time, it seems like, to get into that top 5. Those 5 positions, Weber, Buhajar, Robinson, Heath, and Douglas, look pretty set. Corbett could still break in, but he's only got 3 more laps to do it.
Yep, 3 laps left. And he's not managed to do anything.
I think this is going to be the main battle for the rest of the race. We've got Martin Walker within about a second. We've got Ben Christian and Samuel Meader, and Stephen Scully and Lucas Blake battling further down the field. But Corbett just cannot seem to find a way around that Porsche. It is quick enough on the straights, and it is so good in the low-speed corners.
Yeah, it really is, and the Porsche is getting the job done. The Ferrari getting found out as we make our way through certain sections. Corbett is definitely quick though. Can he craft out that overtake? Scully and Blake, they're still close as well, and Media and Christian looking to bring the battles right to the final line. The final checker flag. There is Matt Webber. We'll get another look at a race leader. We've hardly seen him throughout this. He has decimated the rest of the field, quite frankly. He's got that gap up to 16 seconds, and as Boone has mentioned, it's one of the meta cars at this track that is trying to chase him down, but still a phenomenal drive by Buhajar as well. He had some battling to contend with, qualified in 4th place overall. He's made it up those 2 spots up to 2nd place, so it's a phenomenal start to the season. Some good points being brought home, especially with De Bono out with the race. Corbett looking for it. He couldn't quite line it up into turn number 1, but he certainly got the exit to turn number 1 that he needed, and through the horseshoes he was all over the rear spoiler of Douglas. Couldn't make it stick though. Let's see if Scully can get it done this time.
Scully might have a move here coming into turn 1.
Yep,
he is very close. He's the closest he's been. He's going to try it around the outside. He's going to try what Brad Austin's done, but Blake, I think, is going to have the defense. He's going to hold on to it by just pushing out onto that outside line a little bit, taking the runaway, and then getting that Corvette turned back down towards the apex. It's something he's been able to do all race. He held Zach Leistra off with that move for many laps, and he's just got to do it one more time to keep Stephen Scully behind him.
Indeed, yeah, looking to bring home the bacon. There is the white flag, and it is Matt Webber who is the first driver to see it. We'll get a bit more camera time of him crossing the line, because through the bus stop chicane these two are still absolutely nose to tail. Of course, flying through there mercilessly over the curbs, gets the exit once again, and that is absolutely where the Porsches are prospering here. It is safe to say they're getting the run through there time after time, really interacting with the curbs much better than any of the other cars, and that is holding the Porsche drivers in very good stead. Corbett got an uphill battle now to get this one completed before the end of this lap. He's going to get to within the 10th and a half. Sails for the high line, setting up the cutback on the exit. Oh, he's got full send into turn number 1. Never mind the cutback on the exit.
Oh, that is brave. That is really brave, and he gets it done. That is the move of the young season so far, from Shannon Corbett to move into the top 5 as we go on to the white flag lap.
Yeah, full commitment.
Douglas is not done though. Kyle Douglas wants to fight it back. He's on his bumper through turn 2, coming towards the second horseshoe now.
Yep, yes.
He's dropped back just a little bit. Looking at the rest of the field, it looks like Stephen Scully has dropped back to nearly a second off of Lucas Blake as well. This looks like the battle the rest of the way. It's the closest one, the only one within half a second.
Indeed
But
it is.
Scully now, Scully making huge chunks of time on Blake. Something's happened to Lucas Blake. He's had a bit of a moment, and he's holding on to P13 for the moment. But Scully is back into this. He's going to have 1 or 2 more chances at it as they come towards the end of the lap.
Yes, he is. Where is Matt Webber? He's flashing the lights, and there he is across the line. He takes the checkered flag. He will not be more. He could not be happier. I guarantee you, with having
Kyle
such
Douglas has
an
got a big
uneventful
run,
race.
and Douglas losing time again. He was within about a 10th there for just a second, but he's fallen back to 3 or 4 tenths now. And it seems like Corbett might survive the challenge. And with that spectacular move in turn 1 of lap 30, Shannon Corbett, it looks like he's going to hang on to this P5.
Indeed, there's Robinson. We saw Buhadja crossing the line for second. Robinson takes the Pro-Am win as we see a battle side by side. Nicholas Heath is going to cross the line. Corbett and Shannon Corbett and Kyle Douglas do go side by side across the line.
Kyle Douglas gets the better corner exit off the chicane, and Douglas steals 5th place back at the line. That is spectacular.
That is phenomenal driving. Yeah, like I say, folks, we'll see you all next week for round 2 after this. I guarantee it. What a race that was. Fitzgerald bringing over a yellow flag as well, but a move right at the end there. Move of the gods. We've still got some drivers across the line, but confirmation, Webber, Buhadja and Heath on the pro podium. Robinson, Douglas and Fitzgerald on the Pro-Am podium, and Douglas sneaking his way up to overall 5th. That is not too shabby, showing top 3 Pro-Ams finishing in the top 7 overall. You absolutely love to see it. We've got 21 drivers bringing this one home. Greg Goodfellow, sorry, Dale Horn making it across the line as well. Stern and Searle, quite a few of the drivers not quite making it to the end, but certainly no denying our race winner. He's gone for the Holy Trinity there, Boone. He's taken pole position in qualifying, fastest lap in the race. He's taken the race win. Matt Webber, absolutely unstoppable here today at Daytona.
And we've seen this from him before. He won the championship last season, predominantly off the strength of just a run of absurdly dominant races early in the season. He cooled off a bit in the second half, but that's something that we know Matt Webber is capable of. It's something he has in his arsenal, and that was just a spectacular lights to flag performance from him, really leaving no doubt in that one.
Yeah, and again, against the meta cars as well. I think we might need to give Matt a dictionary and explain what meta means, kind of like when you explain gravity to Wile E. Coyote. Like, yeah, meta, don't do meta here. But there is the results on screen. There we go, and yeah, we've got the drivers into the commentary box, so we will start Yeah, we'll start with our race winner. As I say, he's taken the holy trinity here. He has got all three accolades: pole position, fastest lap, and the race win in a 16-second gap over the rest of the field. Matt, congratulations on a massively dominant performance there. How was that for you?
Oh, mate, a lot better than the start of last season, where I just had incident after incident. So I got my nose out in front and just basically, stayed there.
Yeah, when you say you got your nose out in front, that was a Pinocchio length nose out at front. That was a good gap that you got yourself out at the start. Quick question on your pit strategy actually, we saw a couple of the cars come in slightly earlier than Boone and I were expecting. Were you surprised at when some of the cars came in, and did that affect your pit stop strategy? I mean, given the gap that you had up the front, did any of that affect you, and how did you see the other drivers' pit stops?
Yeah, initially when the gap wasn't as large or as comfortable, let's say, the 2, 3, maybe 4 seconds gap, I was keeping my eyes on, well, not my eyes, but my ears on the spotter telling me that, some had pitted. And even my spotter at one point said, if you pit now, you can make it at the end. But I'm thinking, let's just manage this gap here. And then I think someone behind me pitted, and I thought, if they come out the traffic, then I might be able to grow this lead more. And that's just going to make it more comfortable for my, basically 1 lap to go pit strategy, which I ended up, doing, and got in, got out, and was fantastic sort of decision in the end.
Yeah, it really was. My apologies. I have messed that one up. There we go. And yeah, the second half, I mean, we saw some interesting mistakes. How did you find the track conditions out there today? Because we did see a couple of just unexpected issues in very, very strange places. How did you find the track out there today?
I don't think it could have been in any better shape. It was sticky, it was fast, it's at night time, so you've not got that, radiant heat on you. I just pretty much, like last season, had a plan, just, wrap at a certain time, hit my marks, and get out when I get out, and just, do that 30 times, and, that's why I guess I'm talking to you tonight,
Exactly. Can't argue that. We are having some technical issues with this, but there we go. We do have you up on screen. And going into next week, how are you feeling ahead of next week's race?
I haven't even thought about it, to be honest. I have done a lot of laps around here in the past, so it wasn't a track that I really wanted to practice much during the week. I don't even know where we are next week. Do you know?
We're at Spa.
Spa next week, yes.
Okay. Yeah, then that's an old favourite. So I'm not sure, what car is going to be great around there. But for the moment, the Mustang seems to be my best steed, pardon the pun. But yeah, I'll give it a crack at Spa. I like that track. It's great.
Yeah, nice. Well, again, Matt, congratulations on today, as SDK has more moments. Congratulations on today, a phenomenal performance, and yeah, very much looking forward to see what you do next week and for the rest of the season.
Thank you very much.
Excellent, there we go then. Matt Webber joining us from the top spot on the podium. Bear with me a moment as we just reset this back up. But joining us now is the man himself. 2 days on the trot, he finds himself on the podium and in the commentary box after a phenomenal race in the Porsche and some interesting early battles. Mr. Lewis Buhaja joins us. Lewis, how was that race for you? It looked like a lot of fun out there.
Yeah, I certainly made it difficult for myself. Just got the curb wrong at the chicane on one of the laps and ended up sideways to the way I wanted to be. But apart from that, fairly good. Just made a couple of mistakes and really cost myself.
Yeah, and I was asking Matt about the pit stops as well. How did you find your pit strategy in that race? Did you have to make any amendments based on the cars around you, or did you manage to stick to your solid strategy that was planned before the race sort of thing?
Yeah, I didn't really have to think too much about it. It was just run the tank out, and I pitted the lap before I had to, but we had a decent gap to the car in front and big gap to the car behind, so I was kind of just come in and get fuel and don't get a penalty.
Nice. And yeah, quick one on the track conditions as well, because again, we saw a few cars spinning in strange places, as we could just see one on screen that spun as you went past. How did you find the track conditions? Because we did see you have a bit of a spin as well, coming onto the outward banking, and Dylan De Bono actually getting you back up to race speed quite handily.
Yeah, that's helping me out the team. So thanks to Hybrid and Dill for doing that. But yeah, the track itself wasn't too bad. It was fairly grippy. The Porsche is fairly grippy as well. It's just just got the curb wrong on that time.
Right, yeah, it happens. But still, brought home second place, and no doubt looking forward to Spa next week.
Yeah, Spa's probably one of my bogey tracks, so we'll see how we go. But Adelaide and I can't remember what's after that, but I tend to go not too bad at Adelaide, so we'll see how we go.
Yeah, of course, Phillip Island after that. Well, 2 podiums in the 1 week. That's not a bad turnaround. Not a bad turnaround. So congratulations once again for today, Lewis. And yeah, looking forward to seeing you twice again next week as well.
Thanks for that, mate.
Absolute pleasure. There we go then. That was Lewis Buhagiar, of course. And now, most importantly, we have the driver that finished not only in third place, sorry. Overall, he managed to bring home the race win in the Pro-Am category, so huge reason for celebration. Mr. Patrick Robinson, welcome in and congratulations. How was your race?
Thanks. Yeah, it was really good. Got really lucky a few times. People spun in front of me, managed to avoid the carnage, and yeah, it was a really good race.
It was indeed a solid run, as we saw. I've asked the rest of the drivers, how did your pit strategy play it? Because we did see at one point, Dobbins, of course, had himself a bit of a lead, made himself a bit of a mistake. At that point, the race win was definitely already on. Did you change your pit strategy based on anything that was going on around you at that point?
I noticed I was getting pretty good fuel consumption sitting behind Shannon for the first stint, so probably managed to get another lap in with that, and so that was really it. And then somehow I don't know how I came out in front of Shannon, so I'll have to go back and see what happened, because I think I was just behind him when he went in, and I came out in front. So
yeah, a couple of little mistakes. Yeah, a couple of little mistakes by the other drivers, but certainly being there to capitalise is what it's all about. And as well, the track conditions, it was slightly later at night. We did see, as you say, as you mentioned, you saw a couple of cars spinning. How were you finding the track conditions out there, and how were the back tyres on the Porsche at the end of the race?
Yeah, they were fine. It was doing really well. I noticed that some of the other cars couldn't keep up with me in the straights, even with drafts. So the Porsche was really fast.
It really was. And looking forward to Spa next week, I take it?
Not really. I haven't raced Spa before. I only bought it like a week or so ago. So we'll see how we go.
Yeah, get that practice in. It's an interesting course, so Rouge and Radion will keep you on your toes. But that is a phenomenal start to the season, Patrick. Congratulations on overall podium, mixing it with the pros and bringing home the Pro-Am win. So huge congratulations and best of luck going into Spa and, of course, the rest of the season.
Thank you.
There we go then. Patrick Robinson there joining us. Some replays up on screen. We'll get a few final words from Mr. Boone Blake, who was here, of course, for season number 1. He's been here for the start of season number 2. Boone, that was an impressive start to the season and mouth-watering going forward.
That had, I think, everything you'd really want other than a competitive battle for the lead throughout the race. But battles up and down the order. We had action right to the very end. A photo finish even in the top 5. I was really happy with the field size there. I was really happy with the quality of the racing. I'm looking forward to Spa immensely, and I think this championship's off to a great start.
Yeah,
I think the question here is going to be if anyone can stop Matt Webber from repeating, because that was a dominant performance from him.
Yes, indeed. It really was absolutely phenomenal performance by Webber. The results up there on screen just confirming that in there. No, calendar doesn't want to come up. Well, that is, as I say, folks, that's all we have time for this week. Huge thanks to everyone at TrackSpotTV and Tasman Racing League, of course. What a league. If you are looking to get signed up, oval or road, please do give the folks at Tasman Racing League, can confirm. Phenomenal organisation, with phenomenal organisation and some great drivers and competition in there as well. So make sure you get signed up to race. And thank you to everyone that has been watching on YouTube as well. All the likes, the thumbs up, the subscribes, we absolutely love them, helping the channels to grow and getting more coverage for some incredible racing. So thank you, and make sure you all tune in again next week. Of course, we've got the ovals on Wednesday, but we'll be back for Spa here same time next week. Make sure you get yourself tuned in. Until then, stay safe, take it easy, and have a great rest of your night. Good night.